Why did a load of protesters storm into the Houses of Parliament lobby yesterday and lie on the floor? They're not singing the lyrics to a new Alt J song.
Tra la la tra la tra la la.
In fact, they are saying Vote No Heathrow, which if you don't like Heathrow expansion is a pretty good slogan. What has it taken for us to get to this point, really?
I don't know.
I mean, a few years ago, it seemed like things were going to start happening on the issue of climate change. It seemed like we were going to have some very definite legal things put in place. Instead, we have the President of the United States of America talking about a space force. I think I used to have a Lego set called Space Force back when I was about 5. Although I'm guessing that the Space Force he's going for is something like the Harkonnen from Frank Herbert's Dune.
He who controls the spice controls the universe.
The dangers of spice addiction there. But enough about that carrot-coloured knave. Back to Vote No Heathrow and what that's all about. By 2030, 250,000 people a year are going to be dying as a result of fires, of droughts, of floods. Our government and our parliamentary framework are stuck in a quagmire around the whole Brexit issue at the moment, and so some MPs, in the name of things like industry, are trying to consolidate what they see to be the economic benefits of something like a third runway. It's worth remembering that cartoon-talking haystack Boris Johnson was not even there, and while Parliament is caught in this mess, it's not doing an effective job of dealing with climate change, and thus it is the job of the people to do something about it, to act in solidarity with people abroad, mostly non-white people who are going to be affected by climate change. I'm not going to talk to you about why there should be no more runways at Heathrow. I'm going to talk to you about the importance of non-violent direct action and protest in trying to halt climate change. I'll save the examples for the links, but non-violent action is the ethical means at our disposal and the way for us to assert our power. But action is quite scary, and so to do this you need to have organised groups of people performing actions, and it needs to be incremental and build up, not just one-off things like the recent Brexit protest that occurred in London. I'm not speaking about whether or not it should have happened or not, or getting into the arguments of whether or not it was a very middle-class protest and not representative of working people. But what I'm saying is, isolated, it doesn't really do much good. The opportunity in climate change, as awful as it is one of being able to remould our society around more progressive, egalitarian and economically satisfying lines. Well, of course, fully automated luxury gay space communism with an eco side, not fully authoritarian Harkonnen inspired space Trumpism. So that's all I've got to say really on this particular issue. I hope you enjoyed the video and leave some comments. Do you think that the protesters were right to go into the Houses of Parliament and perform that protest? Should Heathrow have extra runways? Like, dislike, subscribe.